G'day guys and welcome back to GNs_gaming for another Dokkan battle video. So for today's video we got some big news that we were sort of somewhat expecting. We got the EZA details for the AGL Ginyu, that was sort of prompted by him being on the banner, but what we were hopeful for was to get the INT Jeice and Burter as well as the STR Recoome and Guldo EZAs, and lucky enough we have actually gotten these. So we're going to run through the details of them. We're going to start with the two batting units first because Helvid has done the stats for the AGL Ginyu, so thought that was worth doing last. So we're going to start off with Recoome and Guldo. Their leader skill Planet Namek Saga 3 key 150, bit of a nothing there, but let's jump into their passives. So start of turn they got 200% attack and defense, 30% damage reduction, a 70% chance to guard, and then also seal enemy supers. So straight away, a combination of damage reduction and guard is always really powerful. After guard is activated, we get an additional 100% defense and an additional attack that has a 50% chance of becoming a super. When attacking with 12 key or more, we get 50% attack and defense. For every attack received, we get 20% attack and defense up to 100%. And then when there is an ally whose name includes Ginyu, we have guaranteed guard and an additional 30% damage reduction before attacking. So that's sort of like the slot 1 ability, or it is also really effective if you're going up against an AoE boss as well. So definitely worth considering. Stuns the attacked enemy guaranteed as well. So good for something like SBR, ESBR, those types of content there. So looking at him, like I feel like these Ginyu conditions, considering they are EZAing the AGL Ginyu, the INT Ginyu Force could be a really good floater, I feel like, still, with that big time support, and the volume of support that is going to be around on this team. Like, I think this is a really good base. I don't have the stats to prove it, but any time that you're combining guard with damage reduction, and you can also see, like, we'll scoot along to that now, but we get the greatly raised attack and defense one turn, lowers attack and defense. So potentially we can get where is it? 1, 2. So we could triple super. So get the 3 greatly raises of our defense. I feel, and that probably does compensate for the 30% damage reduction we do lose. So I think that Recoome and Guldo, without seeing the stats, I feel like they're going to be really solid when I imagine them on a really juiced up supported team. So, as well as them, we did also get the EZA for Jeice and Burter. So they're a 3 key 150 to space traveling warriors. For their passive, we got 200% attack and defense. Got a guaranteed additional that has a 50% chance of becoming a super, a 70% chance to dodge, and then space traveling warriors or special pose get 3 key 40% attack and defense, which is, as I was saying before, like there's so much support in this team, it's actually crazy. So I love my support class units. For every attack performed, we get 50% attack and defense up to a max of 200%. And then when receiving a super, we get an additional 10% chance to dodge. So that bumps us up to 80% chance to dodge super attacks. And then when there is an ally who's Ginyu attacking the same turn, we've got an additional 10% chance to dodge within the turn before receiving an attack. So that's just pretty nutty, like that bumping you up to potentially having like a 90% chance to dodge a super, which is pretty crazy. And then another 30% attack and defense for all allies for 2 turns. So that's 60% attack and defense support, because realistically you're going to be running Ginyu on this team, so that's going to absolutely cook. For their super attack effect, they raise attack and defense for 1 turn, cause supreme damage, and then raise allies attack and defense by 20% for 1 turn. So if you are rocking them in slot 1, you are also going to be providing that additional attack and defense support with their super attack effect. And like Recoome and Guldo, they have the ability to perform 3 supers again. So yeah, again, with a support heavy team like this, I do like the idea. And then comes to the piece of resistance, AGL Ginyu. So let's see what he has in his kit. So He becomes Terrifying Conquerors or Planet Namek Saga 3 key 170, and the additional 1 key and 30% Space Traveling Warriors. For his passive, we've got 200% attack and defense. Launches an additional that has a 50% chance of becoming a super, 20% damage reduction, so that's obviously new. Ginyu Force allies get 1 key, 60% attack and defense, and 20% crit. Wowie. 60% support and 20% chance to crit. When attacking with 12 or more key, we get an additional 150% attack and defense. Per Ginyu Force category ally on the team, we get 20% attack and defense up to 100%, so you need the 5 for that, obviously. When there isn't another Ginyu Force ally on the team, attacks are effective against all types and has a 50% chance of launching an additional super. So that does mean that you can, if you get lucky, you get the quad super turn. And for one turn from the character's entry, or when HP is 70% or more at the start of turn, you get an additional, guaranteed crit and 30% damage reduction. For one turn from the character's entry turn, or when HP is... That reads to me like they are separate. Like he should always have 70% damage reduction when you've got 70% or more HP. I'd be interested to see how that is. Other people are taking that, but I see that as two separate conditions here. Anyways, for his super attack effect, he stacks defense still, raises attack for one turn, and causes immense. Would have liked to have seen him greatly stack defense, if I'm being honest. Bumping that up to a 50%, but anyways, is what it is. So for the Ginyu, when you exchange bodies with Goku, you recover the 59% HP. You've got 1 key, 250% attack and defense. You've got a guaranteed additional that has a 70% chance of becoming a super. Attacks effective against all types and 50% damage reduction. When attacking, we get 150% attack, chance of performing a crit 50%. So still no need to give this guy a crit. You're really going to be going additional and dodge. He has a 70% chance of launching an additional super. And then when receiving an attack, you get the 150% defense and a 50% chance to dodge. When there's an Jeice on the team, he does also get a Scouter. So Scouter's always really impactful. Helps you sort of sort your rotations. 50% chance to dodge is obviously good. You can 1 and 2, so you can again still quad super. What's his super attack? He's greatly raised attack, so he's an attack stacker. No defense is a little bit, I would have liked to have seen him stack both, to be honest, because we are obviously in a longer form content meta at the moment, but you can obviously stay in that base Ginyu form and just continue to stack away there at your leisure. So, I'll be very interested to see how this works in game. The one other thing is that you do lose the support, and I do love my support units. So, we'll see. It will be interesting to check him out. So, as you can see here, Halvard, shout out to them. They've done these details for the calcs. So, if you're into that type of thing, don't forget to go and check out their Twitter. So, without support, start of turn, we're going to start off at 300k. With 1 super, we get up to almost a milli. 2 is 1.2, and then with 2 additionals, we jump up to 1.4. That's taking into account no Ginyu Force allies, part of the passive. So when you do that with the 5 Ginyu Force allies, you can max out at 2.1 on that first turn. With 8 super attack effects, DAX, you can max out at the 4.4 million. And then with 40% support, you can get up to 4.7. So that's interesting, because I'd actually think that a lot of the time we are going to have more than the 40%, because when I look at this team, you're obviously running Recoome and Guldo, Jeice and Burter. You're going to have the 2 INT Ginyus. You'll have the INT Ginyu Force. So, interesting. I feel like you can juice this number up even higher. And And so for this one, your linking partners are Jeice and Burter or Recoome and Guldo. You get the 5% crit, 5 key, 20% attack and defense, and 62% attack. Now we go across to the Captain Ginyu exchange, I guess we'll call him. So without support, his start of turn defense is 291. So that's if you didn't get off any supers, which obviously wouldn't really happen. But if you've got an 8 super attack effects stacked in base, you would start off with 992k defense. Then when receiving an attack, that will jump up to 2.48. Then you bump up the support, and as I said, I feel like you can easily juice to well higher than the 40%, but you can get up to 2.7 million there, as well as, well, that's combining with his 50% damage reduction. So, I don't know if that, yeah, again, same linking partners as before. I feel like you'll probably want to be doing more than the 8 stacks in base, because that number is on the little bit lower side, but maybe you need the heal. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how the team does operate in game. Anyway, like I said, I think I probably do prefer the support over the base form Ginyu. But either way, let me know your thoughts on the 3 EZAs down below. Yeah, we're not sure when they'll be dropping soon, but I know I'll be looking forward to those stones. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep up with the content, and hopefully I'll catch you all on the next video.